Good morning. I'm Eric Trimble, Fire Behavior Analyst for Northern Rockies Team 6 with a morning update on the East Fork fire. So we had as you guys probably well know, we had a significant, I call season slowing event or a rain event we had on the 22nd. Probably 3 to 4 days after that, because of the hot, dry weather that returned back to the area, I would say fire behavior was conducive. The fuels were drying out, and fire behavior and the weather was conducive for the fire to get active again. And just like today, essentially the next couple days, fire behavior potentially can be fairly active in the sense of any uncontained line or islands of unburnt fuels within particularly the mature alpine fir spruce stands. Fire can go ahead and spread up to about 5 chains an hour, or about 5 feet a minute. Basically, that's slope wind alignment, but that's max rate of spread. But essentially, fire behavior in this fire has been essentially doing torch and spot. Today, because of the low, basically terrain induced winds, basically low wind speed today, but we do have low RHs. Basically, fire activity is fairly, compared to yesterday, a little more subdued, but more importantly, the crews have been getting a pretty good handle on heat management out there, I'd say. So the areas of the fire, as of yesterday, this area in here, in the Division Kilo Hotel break, was fairly active on the edge there, but they had resources in there that kind of cooled that down. Earlier in the week, we had a high activity here in this Division Charlie at the head of the fire, and they've gotten resources on that to kind of keep that fairly well cooled down. So even satellite imagery in the last few days has shown this fire to be fairly, it's still active, but it's not the heat that it could be right now. So now essentially, with suppression activities around the perimeter of the fire that they're doing, although the fire is conducive to active spread today, tomorrow, the next day, we are due to get another Pacific frontal system in, very similar to one we got a week ago. We're looking at by Tuesday night into Wednesday, we're looking at probably ½ an inch of rain coming off the Pacific for the next 2 days, starting Tuesday night, Wednesday, on the Thursday. So looking out long term, we're still, of course, this is getting to be end of August, early September. As you guys know, still we get some big fires that roll through here in early September. So it's another season slowing event, and it should keep the fire fairly well inactive for the next, after that weather event, after the stop of the rain. It should keep the fire fairly inactive again for another 3 to 4 days before we get into a drying trend, at least looking at the long-term weather forecast. So right now the fire is looking pretty good, fairly well parked in place for the next week, I'd say easily, until we see any weather 2 weeks from now, see what it does to it. But right now we've got a pretty good handle on this fire activity. So with that, end of report.